Hello everyone, welcome to our video, and today we will be discussing about the economic activities of the Orang Asli tribe of Malaysia. Let's start off by discussing the traditional activities of the Orang Asli. Economic activities of the Orang Asli tribe derive from their ancestral daily lifestyles and culture practices. The major characteristics found in the Orang Asli Aboriginals are that they are self-reliant and the dislike of being controlled by others. This self-reliance is what leads the Orang Asli not to rely on subsistence agricultural products but instead generate resources from the harvests of the forest. To survive, they resort to finding resources and supplies in nature, for example, collecting food in the jungle, fishing in rivers, hunting wild animals, etc. To adapt to the wild, they created equipment and gear for hunting by using resources such as bamboo, soft stems, wood, and etc. As time passed, they got influenced by the outside societies, religious activities, and government associations and started to change certain economic activities to survive in the world. As we can see, the lifestyle and the practices of the Orang Asli to stay self-reliant doesn't require them to have any cash or income and also doesn't need any material or item from the outside resources. Traditionally, the Aboriginals and the natives depended on the forest land and its resources to sustain their daily livelihood through hill paddy cultivation, vegetable cultivation, hunting, gathering, and fishing. As we can see, their traditional activities are solely to ensure sufficient supply for their family and communities. As their beliefs and taboo dictate, they only collect or hunt sufficient supply from the jungle to avoid wastage that will cause food shortage. Their whole socio-economic and cultural livelihood was related and affected by the forest environment. The forest ecosystem provided practically all the necessary resources to sustain their daily livelihood, from food, building material, medicines to religious practices. It resulted in the Orang Asli not practicing much economic activity at that time, as they do not require incomes or currency to obtain their daily needs. As a lifelong practice, it made their community poor and suffered from poverty as they do not have any sort of income. For the main activities of different Orang Asli communities include Jahai and Lano to be semi-nomadic, which means that they move from place to place in the forest in search of food and non-timber forest produce for sale. For the Temuan, Jakun, and Semai to have permanent agriculture in rubber, oil palm, cocoa, and fruit trees. 40% of Semai, Temiar, Chewong, Jahut, Semalai, Semak Berry, they have sweetening, hunting and gathering, trading durian, petai, and rattan. For Orang Laut, Orang Selatar, Ma Mary, their main economic activity is coastal fishing. Traditional economic activities cause the Orang Asli tribe to face several issues nowadays as time and generation shifted. For example, poverty. Economically, these forest-dependent communities are regarded as poor compared to other ethnic groups such as Malays, Chinese, and Indians in the country. According to the annual report of the Department of Orang Asli Development, it was reported in 2006, 76.9% of the Orang Asli population in Malaysia is living under poverty. Among them, 35.2% is classified as hardcore poverty. This results in the Orang Asli community having high mortality rates. They do not have proper coverage for medical care, clean water supply, and proper education coverage. As society develops, the Orang Asli community is falling behind from all these perspectives. Several news reports also indicate that multiple Orang Asli villages don't have proper electricity supply. No proper healthcare coverage. As the Orang Asli suffer from high poverty rate, they tend to resort to traditional medicine and treatment for illnesses and sickness. As a result, they show a high mortality rate. For example, based on a report, it was stated that in most regions, their life expectancies are lower and they present with higher rates of malnutrition, chronic illness including diabetes, and higher reports of violence and injury including self-harm and suicides. It shows between 2003 to 2007, infant mortality rate was estimated to be double the national figure. Among Orang Asli children, the prevalence and intensity of parasite infections remain high, up to 90% in some communities. Since they don't have healthcare coverage, vaccinations and cures are not available for them. It resulted in a number of Orang Asli to die from preventable and curable diseases. For instance, based on a report from Malaysia Kini, it showed that 15 people from the Batik tribe died from measles, a preventable disease. The disease affected more than half of the village's population of 185. As a statement, the health ministry later found that the villagers were suffering from malnutrition and had not been vaccinated. Due to their self-reliant economic lifestyle, the Orang Asli tribe suffers from lack of required resources such as clean water. As their life revolves around the forest, clean water resources are normally remotely far from villages. When they need water, they go and collect from the distribution. As the distance is far, they tend to use less water in their daily lives, causing them to practice reusing water, such as washing their clothes. They will use it for a bath. As a result, this practice caused them to suffer from various skin diseases and diarrhea. Besides, some of the practices cause them to have bad hygiene. In short, among all issues, problems of water scarcity, the absence of proper sanitation, and poor hygiene habits were some of the major concerns expressed by the Orang Asli community. Issues have been a major problem for the Orang Asli community and the local authorities. As stated, the Orang Asli tribe's economic activities revolve around the forest. They normally build their villages in the jungle, riverbanks, etc. For them, this is considered as their customary land passed down from their ancestors. As they do not have proper documentation, multiple land developers and local authorities seek to confiscate their lands. Developers are using Orang Asli customary lands for economic activities, agriculture developments, logging, hydroelectric dams, and tourism. As a result, the increasing encroachment of native customary land has led to several violations of almost all sectors of their basic rights: rights to clean water, to food, to health, to shelter, to security, and to live. Reported by the Star newspaper in 2019, in Kampung Ulu Penderas, the family of Bah Saleh is facing an uncertain future because of land encroachment. This hard-working family earned 350 to 450 ringgit a month through forest resources, tapping rubber and harvesting oil palm branches, but their livelihood is now affected because of the Perak State Agricultural Development Body has cleared their traditional fruit orchard for plantation. In the news report, an Orang Asli girl, Rohana Anga, who is 12, is so severely malnourished that she looks like a 5-year-old. Malnutrition among the Orang Asli in government resettlement schemes is a serious concern. There is also daily news reporting the sudden death toll among the Orang Asli villagers in Kuala Go, Goa, Musang, Kelantan. 14 people had tragically died, over 50 were hospitalized for alleged respiratory complications. Dr. Colin Nicholas of Center for Orang Asli Concerns has pointed out that poor health and malnourishment has a direct relationship with land encroachment. The cause had been identified as the shortage of food supply related to the destruction of their forest and resource base. As we can observe, the traditional economic activities of the Orang Asli tribe has brought up several complications. These complications can be associated with the characteristic of their traditional economic activities and also the effect from the outside parties meddling with their economic activities. However, these issues are noticed by the government and they have come up with several development plans to help the Orang Asli community.
The government implemented specific development programs for the Orang Asli. 1. Economic and social programs. Government organizations, together with several welfare organizations, have conducted a series of economic and social programs to improve the lifestyle of the Orang Asli community. For example, they are working towards educating the Orang Asli tribes to entrepreneur programs, basic language skills, and financial planning schemes. Besides, numerous education plans are designed to provide proper education to the Orang Asli community. The Malaysian government has introduced the era of the nation's new policy, 2001 to 2010, that covered 8th Malaysian Plan, 2001 to 2005, and 9th Malaysian Plan, 2006 to 2010. In these plans, the development of the Orang Asli was continued through the human and community development programs. Amongst them were increased poverty eradication programs, education programs through the Education Action Plan for the Orang Asli, and providing access to technology, information and communication in the Orang Asli villages. Besides, GCOR also provide the economic development, course development program, entrepreneur guidance, phase 2 of the state land development, construction, retail space and rural tourism. With basic academic background, they will be able to further develop their small businesses and also take part in the tourism sector, communicating with tourists and outsiders. From a social standpoint, GCOA in the year 2008 has approved an allocation of RM58,540,000 to implement social development of the 7 components of the hardcore poor housing program: housing, community leader, infrastructure and public utilities, health and medical, family and community development, facilities administration, GCOA and mine development program. In terms of health facilities, 2 clinics planned to be built at Kelantan and Pahang. While the 2 transit centers and administrative at Grik, Porak, and Guam Musang, Kelantan, and also several treatment stations will be built to improve the health status of the Orang Asli. 2. Income generating program for the Orang Asli, including land development, tourism, vegetable farming and livestock rearing, as well as retail business and handicraft industries. These activities serve as good economic activities for the Orang Asli. As the Orang Asli tribes are skilled with knowledge regarding nature and have a wide understanding of the forest and jungle, they serve as great tour guides for local and foreign tourists. Besides, They have a good agricultural system that has been practiced by them since generations. Organizations are implementing small business concepts on their traditional practices such as farming, hunting, gathering forest resources to act as income for them. For example, the orang asli serves as good labor to gather and find wild creatures to be used in several zoos in Singapore. The trading system provides good benefits to the orang asli community. Other than that, since the orang asli tribe is fluent in creating handcrafts, with their signature weaving techniques, organizations are planning multiple events and festivals to highlight these handcrafts to the public. The Orang Asli tribe is given the opportunity to share their knowledge with the public, as well as make some income for the products that they sell. 3. The implementation of new land development and resettlement projects. The Malaysian government has always included planned development plans and projects for the Orang Asli tribe in Malaysia. These plans are recorded in the 5 years Malaysia plan to develop the entire population of Malaysia. One of the biggest plans included is the Land Resettlement and Development Plan for the Orang Asli. As an example, it has involved a total land area of about 19,800 hectares benefiting 8,100 Orang Asli families. These lands are reserved to build residential areas, new schools, proper medical clinics, hospitals to develop the Orang Asli community. Besides, proper water and electricity supply is included. Various reports also state that the government is installing solar panels to lessen the electricity fees for the Orang Asli community. Furthermore, the Orang Asli community also benefited from a special allocation of RM 100 million for the ASBPPRT5 scheme. Numerous families were relocated into the area to create a more developed community. Reports also showed a total of RM 79 million was disbursed by the end of 1999, benefiting 15,820 Orang Asli households. Other than that, GCOT also implemented the Structured Settlements Program, which consists of several programs such as Regrouping Plan, RPS, Village Restructuring, PSK, New Village Plan, RKB, and Land Development. 4. Felder and Filker Development Model. Felder and Filker were set up in 1956 to assist the various government departments in solving the problem of rural landlessness and poverty. Forest areas were opened up and released by the Forestry Department for land development schemes. The land schemes are transformed into settlements, rubber and oil palm plantations. In these schemes, the rural poor and the landless, such as the Orang Asli communities, are able to own land and enjoy the social and community benefits. Equipped with modern and planned agricultural activities, this project is based on the FELCRA, Federal Land Consolidation and Rehabilitation Authority, model whereby the participants are provided with houses, infrastructure and other basic facilities, such as administration, security, health and education, and agricultural land. As time passes, the development model was integrated into a more comprehensive project. This includes the allocation of a work ground, plantations and agricultural land, houses, clinics, hospitals, public schools, administrative offices and etc. to be developed in a certain area. This enables the Orang Asli to build their own village in these areas and live their life without much external influences. 5. Orang Asli's Education's Transformation Plan, POA. The Ministry of Education, MOE, also remains committed to closing the gap of education, socio-economic level and the ability of the Orang Asli students. Accordingly, in order to increase access to education for the O community who live in the interior areas, the government in the 10th Malaysia Plan will increase special model schools that connect primary education with secondary education until Form 3 under the same administration of schools, besides increasing accommodation facilities for secondary school students. The government also introduced the POA who set their achievements in the 5 years from 2010 to 2015. The plan emphasizes the objective of empowering the Orang Asli progress concomitant with the advancement of the people in Malaysia. 6. Information technology advancement. To enable the Orang Asli's community in particular to gain more information quickly, the Ministry of Information, Communications and Culture has launched Radio Television Malaysia, RTM, broadcasting expansion program to the Orang Asli's area. The program is capable of providing television coverage to better serve the nearly 300 of Orang Asli's community in the areas with the provision of television sets and also decoder for free Astro subscription to them. This action allows the Orang Asli community to be more attentive to what is happening in the world. At the same time, it gives them a broader idea of how to run their economic activities. 7. In situ development. This form of development aims at 1. Enhancing productivity through in situ projects and development of new land for modern agricultural farming. 2. Encouraging the setting up of enterprise and industries to widen the economic activities of the Orang Asli. 3. Encouraging the development of local institutions, cooperatives and entrepreneurship, especially among youths. 4. Providing guidance and support such as capital, place, training, advice, and management for entrepreneur development. Economic situation of Orang Asli nowadays. The Orang Asli villages are now more open and accessible compared to the previous years. According to reports, recent studies by GEOA show a positive development that the Orang Asli are gradually discarding their primitive economic activities to enter into diverse business areas such as retailing, tourism, vehicle workshops, food stall, logging and manufacturing. Repeated exposures to the government's previous projects have impacted the Orang Asli to venture into very small-scale business enterprise. There are also more services that are provided by the government sector nowadays, such as general healthcare, maternity and infant care, dental care, police security, communication and education. Administrative offices are also located for them to provide services to the Orang Asli in the village respectively. Government efforts in developing the Orang Asli through the provision of basic facilities, regroupment and resettlement have also gradually transformed the Orang Asli population. Looking at one of the research, it was said that nowadays, after the government's aid in developing the community of the Orang Asli, it showed that they started to let go of certain pantang larang or taboos and stopped practicing various traditional activities. Nowadays, they are more into small business ownerships and generating income to support themselves and their family in the society. One of the reports conducted in Lompin, Pahang, the author interviewed 91 Orang Asli about their lifestyles. 56% of them indicated that they are now small business owners. and they find that the help from their wife and sons are very beneficial for their entrepreneurship. Besides, it is shown that they never let go of certain old traditions such as hunting and gathering resources in the jungle. However, these activities are not solely for their own benefit. They hunt and gather resources to make products to sell at their businesses. This is a win-win situation as they are allowed to carry on their tradition and also generate income for the family. The positive reinforcement of the act is that they are able to carry on their ancestral teachings of hunting and gathering resources, but in a different approach. They also stated that these acts to run businesses was an impact from attending government-organized courses on entrepreneurship and finance plannings. However, the author found that the majority of the tribe has no desire to expand their business and are satisfied with what they are doing now. They also stated that if certain negative phenomena happen, they will stop their businesses. This is due to their belief that the negative phenomena is part of their ancestral warning to them. Other than that, the report indicates that as some of their products are sold to Chinese businessmen as a middleman, it creates a good relationship between the Chinese men and local Aboriginals. Some of the local females marry Chinese men, as they will share privileges from the Orang Asli such as land rights. The Chinese men would use the names of their wives to clear lands to cultivate plantations. The earnings of the plantations will then be distributed evenly to all the families in the area. This action increases the average income for households in the Orang Asli community. Lastly, as observed, the Orang Asli tribe are new and inexperienced in this new economic activity. Certain reports showed that they are scared and intimidated to expand their businesses. This is due to their unconfidence, low education level and lack of trust. To counter this situation, governmental organizations should include more advanced business programs and training. Government can also provide subsidies for them to explore more business fields. Overall, this will create a better impact for the community. And thank you for watching.